There are two versions of the results screen. By default, Holos is set to advanced mode. To access a more simplified results screen, click on Settings in the toolbar, then Farm Defaults. Beside Holos Operations mode, click Basic mode. The simplified results is ideal for new users and for users who want a quick summary of their farm. The detailed results screen is divided into tabs. Depending on which components exist in your farm, the results screen may have different tabs. The tabs that are always present are Estimates of Production, Emissions Pie Chart, Overall Emissions, Component Emissions, and Detailed Emissions Report. The Detailed Emissions Report is an aggregate view of all the components in your farm. For each component and group of animals on your farm, this tab will display a breakdown of enteric methane, manure methane, direct N2O, and indirect N2O. Above the spreadsheet is the command bar. It contains commands and operations that the user can apply to the results. Many of the commands shown here are common across most tabs. Report format changes how the data is displayed in either monthly or annual emissions reports. You can also change the units of measurement with a drop-down menu. Note that GHGs report the raw gas production, but the CO2 equivalence is a standardized value. You can export the data from the table to a CSV file, which can be viewed in software like Excel. Note that you will export annual or monthly reports depending on which format is currently selected. If you want alternative calculations for your emissions, click Yes next to the Show Additional columns. To hide them, click No. If you have two or more farms in Holos, you can compare them. Next to Compare Multiple Farms, click Yes. Select all the farms you wish to compare. If you click a farm again, you can deselect it. Let's compare farms A and B. Finish by clicking Compare Selected Farms. Once you have selected farms for comparison, a column indicating the farm name is available to distinguish the farms. Other tabs have options to view farm comparison. Each column can be sorted by ascending or descending order and can be filtered. For example, if multiple farms have beef finisher components, but have different diets, we can select the component name filter to compare the differences. The column labeled subtotal, which is highlighted in blue, shows the subtotal of all emissions for the given component group. Underneath the table, we find the uncertainty calculations for each type of emission. The Component Emissions tab provides a visualization of emissions by type for the farm. A comparison of farms shows the total emissions for each farm for each month of the year. Each farm is represented by a line, and a legend on the right is available for easy identification. To visualize the current farm, click No beside Compare Multiple Farms. Now the legend on the right identifies each type of emission and can be highlighted by hovering over it. Overall Emissions provides a chart representing the total emission for each type of greenhouse gas produced by the farm. Like other tabs, you can change the units of measurement. The Emissions Pie Chart displays a proportional representation of all emissions from the farm. Each slice can be identified by the associated tag or by the legend underneath. Clicking Yes next to Show Details will display how each farm component contributes to the emissions. The Estimates of Production tab displays estimated production data, depending on the components of your farm. For example, a field component will display your expected harvest, as well as land information. For an animal component, like beef cattle, the report will display the amount of manure available for land application, as well as how much beef was produced. If your farm contains animal components, you will see two additional tabs: Feed Estimate Report and manure management. Feed estimate report shows feed intake for each animal group in the farm. Manure management reports various details regarding each animal group, such as excretion totals, housing, storage, and land application emissions. The Economics tab contains information about such things as profit, revenue, and total costs associated with certain components of your farm. The Multi-Year Carbon Modeling tab shows the soil organic carbon, or SOC, for each field starting from the first year of the production period of that field. If you select the grid as your report format, you will see all the data from the start of your production period to the present day. As a reminder, most categories can be organized and sorted by ascending or descending values, as well as filtered according to certain specifications. Just look for the funnel icon.